Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Google began in January 1996 as a research project by Larry Page and Sergey Brin when they were both PhD students at Stanford University in California. Page and Brin originally nicknamed their new search engine as Backup because the system checked backlinks to estimate the importance of a site. Eventually, they changed the name to Google, originating from a misspelling of the word Google. Uh, apart from them, the newly appointed CEO of Google is Mr. Sundar Pichai.
Let's talk briefly about
Let's talk about
Google's
the
timeline and their
history of
history.
Google.
The
We'll
company
go
was
through the
formed
timeline
back
of
in
all the major events that
1998.
happened
In
with Google.
2000, they became
So,
the
to begin with, Google was
world's
formed in
largest search
1998.
engine.
In
In
2000, it
2004,
became the world's
Gmail was
largest search
launched.
engine. In
2006, YouTube
2004,
was acquired.
Gmail was
2008,
introduced.
Google Chrome
2006,
was
YouTube was
launched.
acquired.
And
2008,
one of the most
Chrome was
recent one
introduced.
is in
And one of the
2012
most
when they
recent
launched Play Store.
activity which Google was into was the launch of Play Store in 2012.
Let's now start talking about the four pillars of an information system, which are process, people, technology, and the structure. Google has a cross-functional organizational structure, which is technically a matrix organizational structure with a considerable degree of flatness. It emphasizes change and direct social links between the organization. Google cares a lot for its people and its employees. It makes sure that they are happy. Google is all about automation. To work at Google is to believe in the power of automation. Google believes in constant innovation. Things like Google Analytics and Google Cloud go ahead and prove that they have the resources to invent any cutting edge technology that is required by them at that point of time. Let me explain to you the 80-20 rule. It is a rule wherein an employee can dedicate 20% of his work time to any personal projects that he has been doing, which may or may not be related to Google as a company. A fun fact being that Google Maps was actually a product of that 20% of time dedicated by an employee out of his work time. This is the thing about Google. They give the employees the liberty to exploit all the resources that they need uh, to the employee.
After the four pillars, we would now jump on to the value chain analysis of Google. So, what exactly is a value chain? Value chain is a high level model of how businesses receive raw materials as input, add value to those raw materials through various processes, and sell finished products to customers. The value chain consists of four components, namely firm infrastructure, human resources, technology development, and procurement. I will start from the lowermost level and move upward in the value chain. So, first comes the inbound logistics. Google is planning on digitally transforming its supply chain by introducing delivery of products by drones. One more very interesting concept is the dedicated supplier site, where suppliers can submit invoice for payment as also check invoice status. Next comes the operations. Google operates in more than 70 offices in more than 40 countries internationally. All spheres of Google's operations are guided by its organizational culture based on challenging the status quo and adopting an unconventional approach in getting things done. However, there are views that due to its rapidly increasing size, Google has to develop more policies and procedures and become more bureaucratic, with negative implications on the level of entrepreneurial spirit in the company. The outbound logistics with Google. Online searches and integration of advertisement into search result represent Google's core businesses, and there is no outbound logistics associated with running this business. Google also sells physical technology products such as smartwatches, Nexus phones, Chromecast, and other products via its website. In 2015, Google also opened its first fully branded physical store in London. The next section is the marketing and sales section. Google's marketing strategy relies on integration of online and offline communication channels to communicate the marketing message. Popular components of marketing communication mix, such as advertising, events, and experiences, and public relations, are used by Google extensively. whereas the company uses sales promotions and direct marketing sparingly. One important part of Google is its service which it provides to the users. Google Forums play an instrumental role in terms of assisting customers to deal with a wide range of technical and other issues. Google has its servers placed all over the globe and provides relevant web pages to users. Now, the next section is the technology development section. In this section, as mentioned by Amol earlier, Google gives a lot of importance to technology. It invests around 65% of its income on the new technologies research. Google is the first wireless search technology. Moving ahead comes the human resources. As we all know, people play a very important role for Google. Google has a flat hierarchy structure. That is, it promotes its employees to show good amount of involvement and participate in the decision making process irrespective of their level in the management. The most important or the topmost level is the firm infrastructure. Google has a clear mission and strong industry focus. They have good financing and legal support, and thus it has a large brand value. All these components compiling together form the value chain for Google.
Coming to SWOT analysis, Google's main advantage is its strong brand image that helps Google to fight off new competitions. Everybody is aware of what Google is and the basic functions that it provides to the users. It is a very well known search engine that provides the biggest platform for all their websites to get searched by the people who need them. Google has 68% desktop market share and more than 90% share of the mobile segment. Google's Android OS is also ranked as number 1 mobile OS in the world and is used by some of the largest smartphone vendors such as Samsung, LG, and Sony. However, Google's main source of revenue is also its biggest weakness. As of 2015, 89% of revenues were generated from advertising. Sustainability of this revenue source is not ensured as advertisers can terminate contract due to a wide range of reasons. On the other hand, firms' opportunities are mainly based on technological changes. Nest, a company purchased by Google, is developing the Internet of Things. Google can also exploit the current trend of increasing mobile device usage by offering mobile friendly products. The company faces major threat from its competing firms that include some large names like Yahoo and Apple. Also, Google has been involved in multiple lawsuits over issues such as privacy, advertising, and intellectual property. Fortis model would tell us about the major forces that play part in making Google's business successful or unsuccessful. Google experiences strong force of competition. Because of the diversity of its products, Google also has a diverse set of competitors. Another point is that the existing names do not have any switching costs, which make them work more strongly and free of tension. Coming to the bargaining power of buyers, buyers here would be the people who are using Google throughout its existence till now, and companies with products to sell who spend the money to buy the ad space. Lots of other companies can provide ad space like Facebook and Amazon. As there are a lot of search ranking forums where the visitors and users can take part in bargaining, this increases their bargaining power. There is no such thing as a perfect search engine, and thus it always remains a threat that any time a new entry will enter the market and will wipe the previous search engines like Google did. Although it is easy to satisfy regulatory requirements for new entrants to get established, the cost of brand development is pretty high. Thus, many startup companies might find it difficult to sustain their operations in the long term, especially since Google already is one of the most valuable brands in the world. Google experiences weak power of suppliers. The high availability of supply in combination with the large number of suppliers minimizes the effect of the bargaining power of any single supplier, thus making it easy for the company to move from one supplier to another. By Porter's definition, the threat of substitute consists those products or services which, though not directly competing with the product or service in question, can still be used by a customer in place of it. In the online search engine business, the most viable substitutes currently are social networking sites such as Facebook and LinkedIn. This is because they also have their own internal search capabilities and offer advertisers large audiences.
Let's talk about risks at Google. The three major risks that Google faces is technological risk, social and cultural risk, and economic risk. To begin with, let's talk about technological risk. The launch of new technology is necessary for an innovation driven company. The new technology will come with a lot of intellectual property like patents, trademarks, and copyrights in order to protect its exclusive technology. However, if the outside situation are out of control, they will pose threats or risk to intellectual property. To take Google as an example, any important harm to intellectual property rights could hurt Google's business. For example, Google's multinational operations could affect their business since intellectual property laws like patent laws and intellectual property rights circumstances vary across countries. The failure the of any lawsuit could cost a large amount of compensation fee for Google. Now let's talk about social and cultural risks. These risks are particularly confronted by information technology based corporations like Google. For Google, the risks are data privacy and security issues. Google's success has been developed significantly through brand identity and reputation. To preserve and uplift the Google's brand is vital for global expansion on end user, advertisers, Google network member and other business partners. As a result, the exposure to data privacy and user security will affect unfavorably on Google's business operating outcomes, financial results, and ultimately damage Google's brand image. For example, the company came up with the Street View function for Google Maps and Google Earth, proposing 360-degree street level city view and authorizing users to view chosen cities and surrounding urban areas. The invention has had has led to some privacy issues. For instance, the mayor of North Oaks, Minnesota, complained Google has broken the trespassing audience in the city. Similar issues in cultural and privacy can result in harmful impact on its brand reputation, which will further affect its growth. Now let's talk about the economic risks that Google faces. Economic uncertainties, in particular economic downturn triggered by global economic crisis, has placed on Google on Google's advertising revenue accomplishments. Google's business model is an online advertising model by generating revenues almost wholly from online advertising. Statistically, advertising revenues was about 99% of Google's revenue back in 2007. The economic slowdown has encouraged online advertisers to restrict advertisement spending. Consequently, the average cost per click made by advertisers fell as advertisers have tightened advertisements cost in reaction to the global economic recession. Additionally, advertisers have reduced their bids on keywords due to the lessening in sales through per paid click. Accordingly, if key advertisers decrease or stop displaying advertisements on Google due to financial budget concern, the negative damage on Google business and revenue could be severe.
The three major factors that contribute Google to have its sustainable competitive advantage are technology infrastructure, innovative services, and brand and market share. To begin with, technology infrastructure, Google does not disclose the number of data centers or servers they operate, as they believe this is the most significant asset that they have for its operations. Coming to innovative services, these are all the products that Google offer, from Gmail to Maps to the advertising division to the mobile handset production that they have. Coming to brand and market share, according to ComScore's October 2015 results, Google still has about 63.9% of market share when it comes to online searches.
We talked to one of our friends at Google to know more about the company and also asked him about his experience working with Google. Let us see what does he have to say about the company.
My name is Mohit.
Hey, hi,
I
Mohit.
work with Google India as part of the Google Marketing Solutions team. And I'm working as an account strategist for the UK and US markets. So what I do is I work with SMB clients and help them increase and optimize their digital spend. So basically, it's a lot of AdWords related stuff wherein we help them get online first, because it's small businesses who probably haven't been online for marketing ever. And once they get online, we help them sustain a 90-day marketing strategy from which they get the most returns, and we try and optimize that strategy over the period of a quarter. So that's pretty much what I do day in, day out.
So how long have you been working for Google?
I've been working for Google for about a year now. I joined in December last year. It's been almost a year.
Oh, that's nice. Any other company you worked for before Google?
Yeah, so I worked with Deloitte for about two plus years before joining Google. I worked as a technology consultant. Again, what I did at Deloitte and what I do at Google is like completely polar opposite differences. But from there, what we picked up on the job was basically dealing with clients. So we had clients for which we provide technology solutions. The difference here with Google is that we provide marketing solutions. But using that client experience is something that you can do across the board, no matter which industry you're in. So that's something that I use on a day-to-day basis. And yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
So, well, I'll start asking you the questions that we plan to ask you. So, the first is what makes you proud to work with Google?
I think the obvious answer is the company's mission. Like, as an outsider, would also identify something that I thought before I joined Google as well, and stayed constant even after joining. Is that, and this is Google's mission statement, says, "Do cool things that matter." And every project that we take up, every role that we take up, also has to have something that you're doing something cool, you're doing something different, but B, it also should have a significant impact, either on Google's strategy as a company or on society. So when Google comes up with things like Project Fi or like the Wi-Fi project that they did in India, wherein they set up Wi-Fi across railway stations in India, or even something as simple as bringing internet to places that haven't had internet before. These are cool things that you identify with as an employee, which makes me most proud. Another thing is that comparing this to my previous work experience, it's very easy to question status quo at Google. So there's no hierarchy. We are encouraged to ask questions when there's a director's meeting happening, when there's a senior level meeting happening. Everyone's encouraged to pitch in. So there's no barrier in terms of I can't talk to these people or I can't question these people. It's very easy to, and it's encouraged as well. So that's something that I really like.
all right.
What's that one thing which you want to change about Google? Like I heard that you told many positive things about Google, but something which is negative about Google and you would like to change it?
So in terms of an opportunity that Google could use is that we get siloed in very specific teams. So if I work with a marketing team, there's very little chance that I can do something with, say, YouTube. And to be honest, there are a lot of opportunities in YouTube that say I could fulfill. So if I'm, say, a good video blogger, and this is something that happens on a day-to-day basis that we see, I could actually do a project for YouTube, but because I work with marketing, I can't really work with YouTube. So there's not too much cross-functional communication. And the thing is that Google does so many cool things that probably I could contribute to. Some of my colleagues could contribute to. Like I have technology experience from Deloitte,
Right.
but I can't go ahead and use it in marketing. So more cross-functional collaboration in terms of teams would really help. Another thing is that, and this is just being candid, sometimes people tend to get complacent at Google, especially if they haven't worked in other companies, because you don't really realize the level of comfort that Google gives you.
Right.
So that's something I would change in the workforce that Google has. It needs to be a little more diverse. It needs to be a little more people who've experienced other companies, other cultures as well.
So in your opinion, what is that one unique thing that Google does for its employees that like make everyone want to work for Google?
I think two things, very in particular, two very different things that Google does is, I don't know if you've heard of the 80-20 split. So this is something that ended up creating Gmail and Maps and other Google products as well. What you can do in your day-to-day basis is you can say I will do 80% of the work that I was hired for, and 20% will be allocated to a project, and that project could be anything under the sun. Now, I spend my 20% project doing social media for Google. So that's something that's very different from my day-to-day work. And through those 20% projects, people end up either joining the teams that they like, say joining a YouTube, or actually creating products that last for a very long time. So like Gmail is a 20% project. Maps was once a 20% project. So these cool things have come out of very, very small projects that one or maybe two people have done, which is something that no other company that I know loves their employees to do. And the other thing is that in Google, so this is again something that is different from other companies, is that your manager is expected to have career conversation with you. So he's expected to help you move. He's expected to help you apply to different roles within Google. So again, comparing it to other companies where people are hesitant to help their employees move out because they're losing a good employee, within Google it's encouraged.
All right, that's nice. So we think that Google emphasizes more on the people aspect as in the pillar of the four pillars of the information system. Like, what's your view on this?
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I completely agree. And being inside the organization, I can tell you for sure that is the case. They rely on hiring the smartest people, and because Google gives their employees so much freedom to explore in terms of project, in terms of travel, a lot of trust is placed on the people they hire, and that becomes their most important asset because these people are people who end up innovating, who end up working hard, who end up taking the company forward. So, without doubt, it's the people that give Google its most success. And another thing I would say is technology. There's a very high reliance on technology and cutting edge technology that you need to keep innovating to move forward. So even in my day-to-day job, if I'm using X technology today, 3 months down the line, everything might change. So that's again something that Google pays a lot of emphasis to.
Okay. So as we know that Google always innovates and comes up with new things, what do you think that there could be the next thing that Google is coming up with, or what is it Google is investing most on right now that
You
maybe
you you
the
might actually
outside people don't know?
you might actually share some classified information with us.
I like my job a little, so I'll probably shy away from it. But no, without a doubt, and it's public information, AI is one thing that Google is hell bent on. So artificial intelligence is the company's focus. It's not just Google, it's companies, all technology companies in Silicon Valley, be it Facebook, be it Samsung. We get daily mails about how Google has done something new in artificial intelligence, acquired a company that specializes in artificial intelligence. So that's definitely the way forward. In fact, my day-to-day job as well, because I optimize clients' accounts, people who are on AdWords and spend money on Google advertising. Even there, I've seen the influence of AI because in the last 3 months, what Google has tried to do is come up with automated strategies that make my job redundant, so to speak. So a client will get a mail saying these are the things that you need to do going forward, rather than me having to look through the account and suggest them. So AI definitely.
That's really great. Thank you so much, Mohit, for sharing this information with us. It was really helpful. It was great
No
talking
problem.
to you.
Sure.
No problem. Nice talking to you guys too.
Thank you
Alright.
so
Thank
much.
you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
Mohit.
See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.